And we're back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're going to now take a look at NFL.com's power rankings for this week. I'll give you my thoughts on them. So let's get right into it. So, again, I'm going to try my best to skip through because a lot of the teams kind of are in the same spot. So at 32, the Carolina Panthers are there. Again, they continue to just lose games. They're 1-12. Another bad offensive performance by them. Bryce Young just has had a rough rookie season. And you hope that he's not a bust, but, this has just it's been really bad. Again, this is a team that went 7-9 last year, or 7-10. And, again, that's not a great record, but still, going from that to 1-12 is just, it's horrible. But also you could look at the fact that they don't have the best weapons around him. Again, they traded DJ Moore. You traded Christian McCaffrey. If they still had those guys, that definitely would have helped. So I think you got to give Bryce Young another year, and a lot of people would agree with that. But not looking good right now. Commanders are at 31. They're coming off of their bye. They're 4-9. Defense has just been, they trade away some of their better defensive players, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Their secondary has been getting torched. The last couple of games on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, still, I picked the Commanders to cover. And, of course, against the Dolphins, too. They let Tyreek Hill go off against them as well. They're at 31. Patriots are at 30. They went up a spot after picking up a win against the Steelers, but, again, not really saying that much. Cardinals are at 29. They're 3-10. They're coming off of their bye. They played the 49ers this week, which could get ugly. So, we'll see. Raiders are 5-8. They dropped down 4 spots to 28. They play tomorrow night against the Chargers with no Justin Herbert, so they got a chance to get back on the right track. But, yeah, they put up no points against the Vikings on Sunday. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Giants at 27. They're 5-8. Listen, Tommy DeVito, 3 straight games. 5-8. They got a chance. Listen, they got a chance to, beat the Saints on Sunday. I do give them a decent chance to. I don't know if it's going to be enough. The Giants did beat the Saints a couple of years ago in New Orleans. But we'll see. I think the key to the Giants, well, not the key, but another reason for the Giants' recent success also is their defense. Their defense is forcing turnovers. They're applying pressure. Kayvon Thibodeau has 12 sacks on the season. He's looking like the player that the Giants drafted, what they expected when they drafted him, which I'm excited about. And Tommy DeVito, he deserves a spot on this team. He does. I don't think he's a starting quarterback, but I think he could definitely be the backup quarterback for the Giants going forward, which makes me happy because then we're far away from the days of Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon. That at least gets me excited. This guy definitely deserves a spot on this team. There's no question about it. Just I don't think he's the starting quarterback. Chargers, they went down 5 spots to 26, and now especially with Herbert, getting hurt. Who knows how the rest of the season is going to play out for the Chargers. They could end up going 5-12 on the season. They can definitely win on Thursday against the Raiders. It's not like it's an impossible game, but, you got the Bills coming up on your schedule. Who else do they have to play? Oh, wait, I think they still have to play the Chiefs again, right? I'm pretty sure they still have to play the Chiefs again. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But, yeah, it's a mess of a season for the Chargers. They're definitely going to need a new head coach next year. Got to get guys healthy next year, too. Jets went up 2 spots. Listen, Zach Wilson played a great game on Sunday. Haven't really talked about that. But, the game was scoreless, and then they scored 30 points in the second half. And Zach Wilson was making some really good throws. So, I give him a decent shot to win against Miami because, listen, Miami's banged up on the offensive line. Tyreek Hill, who knows if he's going to – if Tyreek Hill doesn't play, that's a big problem for the Dolphins going into this game. So, and Jets win. Aaron Rodgers could possibly be coming back. We'll see. Titans go to 24. Yeah, I really didn't give them a chance to win against the Dolphins. The Dolphins definitely benefited from the Titans' mistakes. They capitalized on obviously the pick six, and then they fumbled the Titans, and they turned that into 7 points. But the Titans, give them credit. I mean, they were able to come back on the road. They had something they've struggled. They've struggled on the road this year, but they were able to win, and they got bumped up a couple of spots. The Bears are ahead of them at 23. The Bears have been playing better. Their defense has been playing better as well. Getting Montez Sweat, that was a good deal. Justin Fields is, he's playing okay. This team has definitely kind of, figured it out a little bit, because earlier in the season, I mean, again, they looked like one of the worst teams in football, but, they're 5-8. They could definitely finish with a more respectable record. They got a tough game on Sunday against the Browns in Cleveland, which is not going to be, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, you know what? They've been playing better. Saints are at 22, 6-7. They picked up that win against the Panthers. I mean, they're an inconsistent team. They should be better than what their record shows. The Falcons are ahead of them. They went down 2 spots. They're at 6-7. I mean, that NFC South, man, it's a weird division. Then the Rams are at 20. They're 6-7. Tough loss against the Ravens, but Matthew Stafford's playing good. I mean, getting Kyron Williams back has been huge for this team. Their offense is now well balanced. Cooper Kupp is starting to break out again, which is great, especially for fantasy owners. Puka Nacua continues to have a good season as well. So, you know what, the Rams, I mean, they got a shot. They got a shot, and especially with Green Bay losing. I mean, now you got all these teams at 6-7. They got some tough games on their schedule. They got the 49ers to close out the year, but we'll see what happens. You got Seattle, who is I think the Rams should be ahead of Seattle. Seattle's now 6-7. Again, losing to the 49ers. Now they play the Eagles on Monday night, so it doesn't get any easier for them. Although they definitely can beat the Eagles being at home, and the Eagles' defense, the way it's been playing, they got a good shot. We don't know the status of Geno Smith going into this game. It could be Drew Lock again, who I thought was okay against the 49ers, surprisingly. But we'll just have to see how that goes. The Buccaneers, they went up 5 spots. 6-7, they lead the NFC South, which I'm happy about. They got a tough game against Green Bay in Green Bay, so we'll see what they could do there. But right now they lead the NFC South, and I hope that's who ends up winning it. Baker Mayfield has had a good year, and I want to see the Bucs in the playoffs, even though they'll probably be one and done. But I'm at least happy that they right now are leading the NFC South at the current moment. So then you got the Vikings at 17. It's 7-6. I mean, they got a lucky win on Sunday, winning 3-0 over the Raiders. They benched Josh Dobbs. Justin Jefferson got hurt in the game, but they're optimistic that he's going to come back, so that's good. But yeah, Nick Mullins looks like he's going to be the starter on Saturday when they play the Bengals. So then at 16, you got the Packers at 6-7. Tough loss against the Giants. They have some injuries, especially with their wide receivers. So hopefully they get some of those guys back and they get back on the right track, because they do have a soft schedule to finish the year. You got the Colts at 15 and the Steelers at 14. I'd probably put the Colts ahead of the Steelers. Steelers right now without Kenny Pickett. Mitchell Trubisky is not very good, and I really just don't give them a good chance to beat the Colts on Saturday. But the Steelers at times they surprise you, so this could be one of those games where they do that. But right now I'm leaning towards the Colts. I think the Colts should be ranked ahead of them. Bengals at 13. Listen, Jake Browning's been playing well. He's been playing well. How about Chase Brown, their rookie running back, making some plays these last couple of weeks? That big touchdown this past week. Yeah, listen, the Bengals are still in it. So, and they got all their weapons back. Defense is playing better. I mean, this team could definitely still make the playoffs. Without Jake Brown, especially with Jake Browning playing the way he's been playing. So Then at 12, you got the Texans. Yeah, that was a bad loss against the Jets. Um, we got to see what the status is of Nico Collins, but you're already without Tank Dell. Dalton Schultz has missed some games, so yeah, Texans right now that was a bad loss, and let's see if they can bounce back. Broncos at 11. I mean, they definitely deserve to be in the top 10. I feel like, but they got the Bills ahead of them. Bills got a tough game with Dallas on Sunday at home, so let's see what they could do. Um, but yeah, the Broncos also. I feel like this team is going to get in. Um, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. But hey, they're one game back of the AFC West too, so Chiefs better be careful, or Broncos might pass them, which that would be insane if that happens. So then you got the Jags at 9. Don't really have complaints there. That was a tough game against the Browns. Now they got the Ravens. So, that gives the Colts and the Texans another opportunity to catch up to the Jags for the division. So then you got the Browns at 8. I mean, the Joe Flacco stuff, it's incredible what he's been able to do. I mean, it's just this one. I mean, they did lose against the Rams, but it's a great story. And I think he's got to be the guy moving forward. We talked about this yesterday. Until he plays bad, I think you got to keep rolling with him. Then at 7, you got the Lions. I feel like the Lions, I think the Browns at this point should be ranked ahead of them. I mean, their defense has been playing really bad. Jared Goff had an awful game on Sunday. It's not looking good right now for the Lions. Now they got the Broncos coming in, so we'll see what they do. You got the Chiefs at 6. I don't really have a problem with that. I kind of still rank them ahead of the Dolphins. But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs and the Dolphins are at 6 and 5. I can't really complain about that. And then the top 4 is you got the Eagles at 4, Dallas at 3, Ravens at 2, 49ers at 1. I don't really have any complaints about that. I think that the Cowboys should be ranked ahead of the Eagles right now. They could have very easily won the first game that they played against them, and they looked like the much better team on Sunday. And the Ravens, I think they should be ranked ahead of everybody except the Niners at the moment. But we will find out who the best team is when they play each other on Christmas. That's going to be a great game because we're going to have some lackluster games before that. We're going to have the Raiders and the Chiefs. Then we're going to have, the Eagles and the Giants. And then we're going to have, this game, which I'm really looking forward to. So we'll see what happens. But before we go to our second break, I just, again, want to remind you guys to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you, the viewer. Again, that is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker on the bottom of the show segment down below. So, when we come back from our second break of the show, we're going to get into the Heisman Trophy Award winner, Jaden Daniels, and we'll also talk about the MVP odds as well when we come back from our second break. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.